Have you ever walked away from a meeting with the real estate agent and felt like something wasn't quite right, but you couldn't put your finger on it? Well, maybe you felt a little rushed or maybe a little bit of pressure from the agent, like you were being maybe steered somewhere rather than guided. That feeling has a name. And today we're going to talk about exactly why it happens, what agents are doing that creates it, and what working with an honest agent actually looks and feels like. I'm Andrew Diaz, and on this channel, we talk about real estate the way it should be talked about, honestly. And sometimes that may be uncomfortable, but I think the uncomfortable conversations are the ones that need to be had the most. Let's get into it. The first reason you might feel off when you're working with the realtor comes down to something called information asymmetry, and it's built into the very foundation of the real estate industry. Here's what that means: your agent knows things that you don't. I mean, that's their job, right? They know what homes are actually selling for in that neighborhood versus what they were listed at. They know which sellers are maybe a little bit more desperate than others, where the room might be on negotiations. They know which inspectors tend to be thorough and which ones maybe just rubber stamp everything. Um, they know how long a home has really been sitting on the market and why. That knowledge gap creates a power imbalance. And when an agent isn't being fully transparent, you feel it, even if you can't articulate it. You're making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, and you sense that you're not working with the complete information. An honest agent closes that gap. They show you the data, they educate you, they tell you when a price is inflated, they share things that might actually slow down the transaction. They prepare you for what I call the Yeti in the bushes jump out and scare you all the time. It's good to know when those things are going to happen in transactions. And they do that because their loyalty is to you, not just some commission check. Now, let's talk about something that happens almost universally with home buyers: commitment and consistency bias. The moment you fall in love with a house, your brain starts working against you. Psychologically, once we've committed to something emotionally, then we have this powerful pull to drive to stay consistent with that commitment, even when new information should give us pause. An agent who isn't operating with integrity knows this. The moment they see your eyes light up in that kitchen, they know the leverage has shifted. And suddenly, the inspection issues become minor. The price above your budget becomes totally workable. Yeah, we can make this happen. The neighborhood concerns you raise in the beginning of your search quietly start to disappear under the rug. Look, they're not necessarily evil. I mean, many don't even realize they're doing. But the incentive structure of the industry rewards closing deals, not protecting buyers. An honest agent does the opposite. They actually pump the brakes when they see you getting emotionally swept up in the house. They'll revisit the original criteria so that we're making sure that you're deciding with your head and not your heart, because that's the decision you'll be able to live with when we go through closing. That's the decision that 5 years from now you feel comfortable in the home that you're in. And that's my job. Now, this one might be the most common manipulation tactic in real estate, and it's so normalized that buyers don't even question it. And it drives me nuts. This one, I mean, if there was a top 10 list, this is number one on the list. It drives me crazy when I see this happen. There are two other offers on the table, Mr. Buyer. This won't last the weekend. You need to decide tonight. This fake urgency thing, it's such a sales tactic, and it's so obvious, but while sometimes these things are true, often they're not. And even when they're technically true, there are a bunch of offers, let's say, the way that they're delivered is designed to bypass your rational thinking and trigger anxiety driven decisions. This is manufactured scarcity, and it's one of the oldest psychological pressure tactics in existence. When we believe something is scarce or about to be taken away, we stop evaluating clearly and start reacting emotionally. The result: buyers waive inspections that they shouldn't waive, contingencies for appraisals that they shouldn't be letting go. They go over budget in ways that they'll regret. They'll skip due diligence that could have saved them tens of thousands of dollars. I saw this happen a lot post-COVID, and I think people are still paying for it today. An honest agent gives you urgency when it's real and tells you to take a breath when it isn't. They'd rather lose a deal than have you make a panicked decision that you're going to regret later. Number 4 is the likability trap. Real estate agents are trained formally and informally to build rapport fast. Let me say that again. They are trained to build rapport and fast. They get you to nod your head and say yes a lot. I've talked about this in other videos. And one of the reasons it's important for me to do videos like this is so that you are getting to see the real Andrew when we're having conversations. I'm not going to show up and all of a sudden be able to say a bunch of fancy words that I practice every morning with a team of other real estate agents, because I'm not that kind of real estate agent. And when you start to hear that tone, there's something in your brain and in your gut that you know this is somebody who is cheating their way into getting my listing or getting my business. And it feels bad. And you can't put your finger on it, but it's there. And I really want to reiterate to you that when you feel your gut telling you it doesn't feel right, listen to it. And look, there's nothing wrong with being trained to be personable. If it's not your natural way, that's okay. And it's nothing wrong with being personable. I love people. The problem is when your likability is used as a substitute for trustworthiness. Here's the psychological truth. When we like someone, we unconsciously assume they're also competent. We assume that they're honest and they're looking out for us. Researchers call this the halo effect. A warm smile, a remembered detail about your kid's soccer game, a shared laugh about a joke you shared out on the golf course. These things trigger a feeling of safety that your brain interprets as trust. And so buyers and sellers drop their guard. They stop asking the hard questions. They take things at face value. They don't push back because it feels rude to question someone who seems so genuinely caring about them. This is the likability trap. And it's one of the primary reasons people walk away from real estate transactions feeling vaguely manipulated. It's because you were. Even when they can't point to a specific lie or it wasn't done right, it just feels manipulative. Like I said, trust your gut. An authentic agent is likable because they're honest. They welcome the hard questions. They don't make you feel difficult for doing your due diligence. Real warmth and real transparency go hand in hand. Please ask as many questions as you want. You are not wasting my time. That's one of the arguments I hear from clients in the past. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your time. You're not wasting my time. That's what I'm here for. That is our job, is to provide you with as much information and clarity as we possibly can every step of the way. The last psychological phenomenon I want to talk about is one that happens after the transaction closes, and it can linger for months. It's called post-decision dissonance. That's a big word. I had to look that one up. And most people just call it buyer's remorse. That probably sounds more, what's that word? Memorable. But in real estate, it often runs deeper than that. It's not just did I make the right choice, it's was I told the truth when I was making that choice. When a buyer's been rushed, pressured, or given selective information, some part of their brain registers that, even if they can't consciously identify it. And after closing, when your adrenaline fades and you're sitting in your new home surrounded by boxes, you start to question if you made the right decision. Did my agent really have my best interests at heart? Was there something missed? Was I told everything I needed to know? Could we have done better? Doesn't feel very good. And this is the long-term cost of a transaction built on manipulation rather than trust and guidance and honesty. And it's the cost that the industry rarely talks about. When an agent operates with integrity from day one, buyers close with confidence. Not because everything was perfect. Every deal is going to have something that jumps out, some Yeti jumping out of the bush, like I said. But because they knew they were told the truth, they were given real options, and treated like an intelligent adult capable of making their own decisions in a quick and honest way, they tend to feel a little bit better about the closing. Here's the bottom line. The real estate industry has for a long time rewarded agents who are skilled at closing and not agents who are skilled at serving. And that misalignment has created a culture where the tactics I just described are considered normal. But you deserve better than that. Whether you're buying your first home or your fifth, you deserve an agent who closes that information gap instead of exploiting it, who slows you down when you're being emotional instead of speeding you up to make a poor decision, who tells you the truth about urgency, who earns your trust through honesty rather than charm, and who wants you to feel good about your decision long term after the paperwork's signed and all the boxes are cleared and you're living in that beautiful new home. That's the standard I hold myself to, and it's the standard that I believe every agent in the industry should be held to. We need to do better for the public, and if you find an agent that's making you maybe question how you're feeling, please always remember to trust your gut. Give me a call if you have any questions about what that might look like that for you, because transparency is what you're looking for in a real estate experience, and I'd love to be a resource for you to understand what that transparency might look like. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button. It helps more people find our content like you who need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel if you want real, honest conversations about real estate. No hype, no pressure, just the truth. And if you're thinking about buying or selling and you want to work with somebody who actually operates this way, the link to connect with me is right in the description below. I offer a no pressure consultation. We just talk. You ask your questions and you decide if we're a good fit. No halo effect required. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.